Join Cynthia Varkevisser, the modern-day mystic, as she helps you find your relationship's intuitive uniqueness, universal alignment, and a more meaningful connection. You're listening to the Modern Day Mystic Talks Relationships, hosted by Cynthia Varkevisser.
Well, happy Friday. This is Cynthia Varkevisser, your Modern Day Mystic talking relationships today. I thought today what we would talk about would be family and close friends. The past few weeks we've been talking about love interest, and there's nothing wrong with talking about love interest. We can talk about love interest later. I just thought we'd change gears just a little bit and talk about our kids, our parents, our siblings, our friends that we hold very close, like family. This is coming to me today because last week I was in the French Quarter of New Orleans and actually had the great fortune of doing the 2 radio shows there. Last Friday doing the radio show with my partner, and last Monday with my friend Chris Anderson, who manifested this amazing place in the French Quarter with the help of Hurricane Isaac. It was a great story, or it is a great story. I got to be with 2 amazing people, and I also did a half marathon. So it was a really wonderful way to be in New Orleans. However, it was bittersweet. And the reason why is the last time Dee and I went to New Orleans, we had scheduled to have my mom go with me. And right before we were checking in, so 2 days before, 3 days before, my mom got a phone call from her doctor saying, hey, you may have cancer. So she opted to stay home and wait for those appointments so that she would know as soon as possible and figure out how she wants to do things as soon as possible. Now, as I'm telling you the story, I just want you to know that in just a little bit, I will be taking callers and doing readings. All you have to do is call 657-383-0608 and press 1 if you want to talk with me. You can also hop into the chat room and ask a question there. All I ask is for your name, your age, and your birth month so I can connect with you before answering your questions. So please feel free to call in. Just because we're talking about families and close friends today doesn't mean we cannot talk about your love life. I'm happy to answer any questions, even personal ones if you'd like. All you have to do is give me a call, all right? So to go back to New Orleans, my mom decided to opt and stay close, and it was what she had feared. It was stage 4 lung cancer, and it was especially hard because she had just lost her husband, the true love of her life, shortly before, also from lung cancer, and she was the main caregiver. So it was hard for me to watch her not enjoy this one little piece and put off finding out for just a weekend or just 4 days while she went and re-experienced New Orleans with us. But you know, things are the way that they're supposed to be, and bittersweet doesn't mean angry. It's just, you know, I wished I had that opportunity to be with her. The cool part is that I got to experience this vacation with my kids. They ran the half marathon while we did the half marathon. The reason I say it that way is they ran like little beasts that they are. I mean, complete studs. And fun to watch them. But more than that, more than being proud of seeing them do something so physically amazing and is pretty mentally challenging, was the experience for something that they get to see for the first time. They had not gone to New Orleans before, so it's like when they were little babies and they got to experience, you know, life for the first time, and I got to re-experience, and it was really sweet. But it was more than that. Beyond the re-experience, it was paying close attention to how they relate with each other and how they relate with their loved ones and how we related. That the things that drove me crazy about them was, me, which oddly enough was something that drove me crazy with. And so that part was really interesting. And again, it was a little bit bittersweet because I would love to have talked to my mom about this. One beautiful, touching moment was back in October when my mom decided not to go. She had asked me to go to this church at Jackson Square. I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but it's a pretty big and pretty popular church. And she asked me to light candles on her behalf for our sick relatives, our ill relatives, as well as those who had recently passed. And it's something that we like to do to let the universe know that we're sending our energy their way, and that our loved ones know that we're with them, and that in this moment in time we're quiet and that we are truly with them. And so that day I went back and I lit a candle on my mom's behalf so that she knew that I was with her and I was thinking about her. And I'm actually getting a little emotional as we're talking. Now, the cool part about it, two cool parts, is one is that as I'm walking in getting ready to light a candle for her, she had asked me, I hear her ask me if I could please light a candle on her husband's behalf, which is so typical of my mom. And of course, I was happy to oblige. And after I spent that moment reflecting on my mom and talking with my mom, I turned around and I saw that my kids were there with me. And it was really sweet, an amazing moment. And then afterwards, we talked about her. And this is where it got fun, because we talked about the things that, I won't say irritated us, but it was a little bit annoying, if we want to call it something. And it's hard to say, but I see myself do those same things as well. And what I wanted to talk about is that, when people say, hey, watch out, karma. Karma, I completely believe in karma. Karma to me is experienced through lifetimes, challenges through lifetimes of learning. I believe in that. I believe that we've all been here, before and before and before. And I wouldn't be surprised if, the party girl that I am, that isn't part of my soul, that, I tend to play a little bit too much and, be on the party a little bit too much. And, maybe took a few more lifetimes than I needed to. But, that's the way it is. But what I wanted to also add is that, to me, karma is also from your lineage. And that, and it makes sense, right, from a psychology point of view, is that the traits that have been brought down through your lineage is also brought to you. And they're not just physical traits. It is the way that we respond to things. It is the things that we, the way that we address things. And I'll give you an example. My mom would also always ask indirect questions. And I know that her mom asked indirect questions. And what that did is that it made the person that she was asking a question to ask them a question, in which she would respond only because, and then make an explanation for why she asked that indirect question. It's crazy making, I know, but guess what? I do it too. And I just started seeing that I do that. And guess what? I see that my kids, as direct as they are, thank goodness, that they tend to do this little roundabout thing as well. And so this is what I believe is also karma. So it's not just karma that's from your lifetimes. It's karma, it's coming at you from two directions. Again, practical as spiritual, that's your modern day mystic. This is my belief system, that we get it through lifetimes of learning as well as through our lineage. So we get it both ways. We get to deal with it through our DNA as well as through our spirit. As I go on, remember, I'm happy to take your calls at any time. In just a few minutes. All you have to do is dial in at 383-0608 and press 1. Or, and if you don't want to talk to me, but you do want to have a question responded to, just pop on in and ask through the chat room. You're more than welcome to do that. Okay, so where am I going with all this? So we're talking about karma, blah, 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 blah. Really what I want to talk about is not just karma. I want to talk about just this lifetime, is that our families and our friends that we consider family, the people that we hold very dear to our hearts, they're our strongest teachers. They're our first teachers. When we were born, our parents were our first teacher from what they did as well as what they didn't do. All right? And people will say, Cynthia, come on, you know, we have lots of teachers. And I agree, we do have lots of teachers. The person who forgets to put on their turn indicator before they cut in front of me, they're a teacher, right? And that one thing of, you know, if someone is doing something that I don't really like, that I need to take a look at myself. To me, that's mirroring. And mirroring is about the small character shifts that we would like to make. And small character shifts are, while important, they are just a small piece of what we see when we are with our family. That, to me, are your great challenges, or what I like to call your cosmic ironies. Cosmic irony, to me, is where your greatest challenge is where your greatest gift is. So I'm not surprised when the shyest people that come to me for a reading, or those who have throat problems, who always have colds, who always have sore throats, that they tend to be the greatest communicators, because their biggest fear is to be heard, and their greatest gift is to share, which means be heard. So, you know, that's my philosophy. I find it incredibly interesting, and at the same time, a little bit challenging. So, if you have something that you want to share with me, please feel free to call on in and let me know. Otherwise, what I would like to talk about with cosmic irony is that if you were to take a look at people with their family and look at them as if they were symbols. Now, I just told you that I have twin girls, and they're fraternal. They definitely look like sisters. They definitely look like both parents, but one looks more like their dad and one looks more like me. One has a straight hair on the lower layers and curly hair on the upper layers. The other one has straight hair on the outer layers and curly hair on the inner layers. You know, one of those things. One has to work very hard and diligently at everything they do. The other one, it comes a little bit more naturally. So the challenges are different, and I'm talking about that physically. And then you reverse it when it comes to learning. One, it comes much more naturally. The other one really has to work at it. So I think a lot of people call that shadow twins, where one excels at the other's shadow. However you want to look at it. I'm coming at the point of view as them being symbols for me. What that tells me is that I have a great duality. And so I can take a look at one daughter and identify and say, holy cow, this is what I need to work on in order for me to be my best self. And then I look at my other daughter and say, yikes, that was a tricky situation that they just got themselves into. And guess what? I do the exact same thing. So I find that they are the best teachers. And, of course, they say the things that are most direct and can be the most painful, and yet most enlightening in that crazy little way, right? And what I'd like to say is, in times like that, as wonderful of a gift as it doesn't feel like it is, but it really is, there are ways to detach for just a moment and just recover so that you can be yourself and not the information, and then go from there. And what that is a really short meditation. I like to call it the reconnection meditation, because what happens is it's a misunderstanding that's between two people, and you know that you love each other, but there's just some kind of thing going on. and I'm happy to provide that to you. Just ask for it through the chat room and or on my Facebook page. I'm Cynthia Barkevisser on my Facebook page, and it says Cynthia Barkevisser, Modern Day Mystic. Just go ahead and put that on there, and I'm happy to upload that for you. I don't have it. I only have it as an MP3, so I cannot just upload it on Facebook or on YouTube as I had hoped. So, but I'm happy to share with you if you ask. But really, basically, what it does is it's a huge centering practice, and once you get to that very centered space, it's about bringing in that person and not talking about the situation, but really reconnecting with that person on an energetic level. And you don't even have to talk about what had happened in your meditation. All you have to do is just connect. And once you come back, either you'll have some insight, or you'll at least feel better, or you'll find that there is a communication that has happened from the other side in order for you to go ahead and work through this. Now, what else did I want to talk about the NOLA trip? Oh, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is that my mom, even though she's passed, she is still my greatest teacher. I still hear her I still hear her. I still feel her. And although I do believe that she has got to shed a lot of things once you pass over and, you've died and you've transitioned over to the other side, it doesn't mean that they are completely enlightened human beings, at least not in my books, and not yet, that there's, we're bound by space and time, and that they no longer are. So they are going through their thing that I haven't quite figured out. But that there's still a relationship, and I still can use that reconnection meditation, or I can still find things in me through my mom and the memory of my mom that will make me my very best person, which is, isn't that what we all want to be? What I'd like to do is I would like to take a quick break in just a few minutes. Remember, I'm happy to do readings for you after the break. Just call on in. The phone number is 657-383-0608. Just give me a call, press 1, or just go on into the chat room. Also, if you're feeling a little bit too shy and maybe this is not the day for you to call in, there are so many ways that I can come and help you, or you can come and work with me. What you can do is you're more than welcome to come and have a personal consultation by phone or by video or in person. I'm located in Oakland, California. We have Thursday classes in Berkeley, and we always talk about relationships. And it is a modern day mystic, which is about taking your intuitive self and working it within your practical life. This month we're talking about decluttering. And you're thinking, what the hell does that have to do? Oh, I can't believe I said hell. Sorry about that. What the heck does that have to do with relationships? And really, it has everything to do with relationships. The clearer you are in your environment, the clearer you are in your communication. The clearer you are in your diet, the clearer you are in your vision. The clearer you are in your items that you have with you, the more sustainable the energy is that you'd like to keep. So please feel free to do that. And also, I have a crazy little offering, which is if you Yelp me and let me know that you've Yelped me, I'm happy to provide you with a 15-minute reading or a free class in Berkeley as a thank you. So many ways for us to connect. We can talk more about that later as we go to break. I'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Experience the magic of Angel Heart for You, nestled in the heart of beautiful downtown Benicia, California. Embrace the aroma of scented candles, essential oils, incense, and aromatherapy products as you wander the aisles of inspirational and metaphysical books and gifts. Enjoy the positive energy vibrating in this historical site where the well-known author Jack London was once a frequent visitor. If you're in need of a smile or a hug, Angel Heart for You is the place to visit. Do you have an intention or a wish to manifest? experience the magic of our intention tree. Email us at angelheartforyouradiochannel@gmail.com and be included in our Sacred Intention Tree ritual. Just write us your intention and we'll offer it up in fire along with those left in our store, then offer them again to the beach and water in Benicia. May angels be with you in all your comings and goings. Love, Angel Heart for you. Join us for the experience of a lifetime. Sacred Connections Sedona Retreats invites you to a powerful 3-day retreat in the beauty of the high desert. People travel from all over the world just to experience the healing vortexes in Sedona, Arizona. Through a series of mindful meditations and spiritual activities amongst the Red Rocks, let the land call you home to your higher self and source. Surrender, transform, Sedona. Sacred Connections Sedona Retreat is hosted by Angel Heart for You radio hosts Tana Newberry and Linda Grindell. Learn more at www.sacredconnectionssedona.com.
Hello, you're back with Cynthia Varkevisser, your modern day mystic, and we are talking relationships. Feel free to call on in at 657-383-0608 if you have a question for me to do a reading on, and please press 1. Happy to take your call. Otherwise, just leave a question in the chat room, all right? So I have Annette from Boston who's looking for love, and I heard that she's live, so I'd love to speak with Annette. Annette, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm a really happy person today. Really grateful.
So am I.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Right? Isn't it? I mean, gosh, I'm pretty lucky person, and really grateful for you. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah. Now, are you in Boston? Really?
Yes.
My daughter's there. She just she went to Northeastern, and I was feeling she's going to be there a little longer.
No.
And that's where she found love. So let's talk about love for you. Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on? How can I help you?
Well, it's been oh my gosh. It's been close to 8, 9, 10 years since I have been in a relationship, and I think I don't know if it's a problem, but it's been so long that I'm becoming comfortable without having one.
Mhm.
And
is that scaring you?
I think that subconsciously there's something there.
Sure.
You know, because I know that as you get older, and I see people as they've gotten older, how they're alone.
Mhm. Well,
and
In what?
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I see that your birthday's in April. I didn't get a chance to get your age.
I will be 52. I'm 51.
Oh, you're such a youngster. Don't even.
I am.
Stuff.
You know what? I feel much better. I'm telling you. People say it's 30. When you hit 30, everything happens. I think that when I hit 50, it's like something just came over me. It's like, you know what? Things just started to change.
Yeah, I could tell.
It really started to change.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that this is what I love about you. You're incredibly sweet, and things don't happen quickly for you. You're not about you're not about rash decisions. You're not about impulse.
Exactly.
You're really sweet that way. And believe it or not, it took you these past I'm hearing 8 years. So
Yes.
from 44, which was that was a year about what is a success, to now to really think about what is love and what do I want in love, and you're such an appreciator. You know?
Yes.
So, you're the type of person that if I were to try a new cooking dish, I'd want you over my house, because you would always say something very kind, and you would appreciate it because somebody made you, because I made you this, even if it tasted really crappy. And then, you would make some suggestions gently, but that's the way you are, incredibly gentle.
Yes.
And and then the past 2 years have not been, what I'm hearing is that they haven't been too kind to you, that there have been some shifts going on.
Yeah.
So, so I can understand why you're thinking about, hey, I don't want to get comfortable. You've been uncomfortable for the past 2 years. Holy crap.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about...
not desperate, though. But not desperate, but wondering, I would like a partner, but that also there's also some fear there too.
Well, sure. I mean, there's I understand that, because you're a white picket fence romantic, and I love that. I haven't seen that in a long time. I don't even know if anybody under 30 really knows what that is, white picket fence romantic. But that's who you are. You're really sweet that way. And
right. But I don't want that white picket fence to fence me in, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. But it is the ideal of, it's gentle, it's sweet, and you'll never be fenced in, because one thing is that, remember, you're very deliberate in everything you do. You're right. So if we're going to stick with the symbology of white picket fence, you would always make sure that the latch was greased. You know what I'm talking about? It looks good, but it swings really well, so I can easily get in, easily get out. And so can my partner. Right? Really sweet. There is a part of you that needs to get a little rambunctious, and it's going to be scary for you to do that.
Yes.
Okay? And because you also are, now remember, you're a slow burner on one side, but you're also a slow burner on the other side. So what that means is that you're, right? So you're also very slow to anger.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what happens, but here's what happens, is let's just say you're on your way to getting angry, and then you find a way to temper it. Right?
Yes.
So, okay. What's really important to know is that you haven't gotten rid of the anger. It's been tempered, so that it hasn't gone away. And so there's a slow build. And so being rambunctious will help you free up all that stuff that doesn't have a name, right? But it just has a feeling to it. So you're a youngster. Go out and roller skate.
Right. Yes.
Roller skate.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be rambunctious that you're hurting anybody, but do something that's a little bit, that would be so funky you.
Yeah. That's true.
Wear hot pink on a rainy day.
Yes. Yes.
And make sure that it's form-fitting. So.
Yeah. Trust, I don't have a problem flirting. It's like a natural thing for me. It's just, and that it's interesting because it just flows out of me.
Here's the thing. On a scale of 1 to 10, what you think is really flirty is really just a 3. And so it's a really polite, sweet flirty, right?
Yeah.
Now what you need to do, so remember I said you got to get rambunctious? You got to ramp it up and get almost, I don't know the word for it, but you want to go beyond the cute flirty. You really want to get suggestive, provocative, almost to that point.
Yes.
Okay?
Which I know I can be. You're right about that.
Totally
I think it's like I think I cover it up.
Yeah, because you know what, white picket fence homeowners do not get spicy, which is the word that
Right.
Hannah used, which is great, spicy. So
Right.
that's just it. But it's time for you to get spicy. You know,
You're right.
put a little
You're
jalapeno
right.
in you, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Because it's
that's
in
what you want to
me.
do.
I just
Oh,
need
it's
I
in
just
you.
need to turn the light. I just need to turn that fire on.
Yes, you do. And so that's what it needs to do. So what you consider outrageous, I would
Mhm.
consider rambunctious, because I'm kind of, you know, my what is it? My kids say I'm inappropriate, like a dress inappropriate, which is you know, that's exactly what I need to be around them.
Yes. You know, to me, I want, you know, this is for me. I want to wear a disco 70s jumpsuit with a pair of thigh-high boots and
Why
a
don't
big
you?
afro.
Why don't you? That's hot.
I am. I'm serious. I'm thinking about this. I just feel like physically, I want to somehow. I'm feeling like I want to transform myself.
Yeah, and that's what. So the thing is that because the past 2 years have been, you know, so challenging, you're a little bit gun shy, right?
Yes.
You're a little bit.
Yes.
So you question yourself. So you're telling me this, and I could tell that your heart is like, oh, did you just say that really?
Right. Yep. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So, okay. So then,
but I also don't feel attractive. Physically, I don't feel attractive enough.
You know what? That's just something that your spiciness will help you get over. Some of the best flirts and the most loved people, just so you know, they're overweight. They are, you know, they are not physically fit. They are, you know, they're not your catalog models, and they don't. People don't care.
And that's what goes through my head. I'm like, because I'm 51, I don't really look and act 51, and it's interesting because the young men are attracted to me, and not just young men. I can see that the men. I can see that they're attracted to me, and that they find me interesting and flirty, and I see it. Not just young, but older men too.
Well, so start with the younger men and work your way up.
True.
And the reason is that with by getting a little rambunctious with younger men, you can get away with it in your heart, which is, you know, he's so young that I can play a little bit more than what I normally would, and you know, it'll all be a good time. Now, if they respond in a way, then what happens is that's how you get sparkly inside.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, and that's what you're looking for. All right. And then work closer to your age, because the thought of you being, now I'm talking from your perspective, not from my perspective. Because from my perspective, I believe you get all you get, however you can get it. All right.
Right.
And if that's what the universe is giving you, then then you say thank you, and you take.
Right. Exactly.
Right, because you're given a different way. So, but for you, you're feeling, that's a little bit ridiculous. And so, start with the younger men, and then as you start feeling much more comfortable with this rambunctious part of it, with you, then do it with the men closer to your age, and see what happens.
That's true. That's
true. And then start with
Start
with the 70s jumpsuit, grow out your hair, and then when you're ready, get your thigh highs.
Yes.
And, right? Do your core
spikes.
workout.
I mean, I'm just like, and with the corset and overall, Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Do your core workout, because I'm telling you, you're going to need it for your back when you start wearing those 4-inch or 5-inch platforms. You can laugh now. Laugh now. Do your core workout. And I'm not joking. And the core workout can, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. Just do a couple sit-ups, however you want to do it. Yep, I love it. I love it.
And giggle every time you do it, because you know why you're doing it. You're doing it for your shape and your corset, know, and to keep your core right, so that you can keep your alignment while you're in heels.
Yes, that's so true.
Okay,
that's
now
so true. I love it.
So what I'd love for you to do is I don't say this very often, but for you, the physical is very important. So it's not like you have to do this incredible exercise regimen, but if throughout the day you can do 5 sit-ups or 5 anything with your core throughout the day, and giggle every time you do it because of why you're doing it.
Okay,
right?
I like that.
What will happen? Yes, and what it does is you are doing a very special kind of intention, and it is an intention in which it has action right with it. Okay. So, and so that's what you want to do. And just so you know, we're having a nice long chat, which is lovely. I'm really happy to be talking with you. But just go back on the podcast, and you get to re-listen and do however you want. You know what I mean? However you want. You can take your notes and all that stuff, so don't worry. Okay? But anyway, so you're in a year right now that you have to take risks because, remember, you're a little gun-shy. And so they'll feel like big risks, but once you look back, and you're probably going to look back in the next a year from today, and you're going to look back and go, you know, that wasn't so bad. Those weren't such big risks. But because of everything that you've been going through, they're going to feel like big risks. Okay? So take those big risks and do something physical with each risk, because what that does, again, is action with your intention.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So go ahead and buy that jumpsuit, and if you want to buy it a size too small, that's fine, and just keep putting it on once a week.
Yes, and I actually do that now. I actually do that. I'm saying, I got this amount more to lose. Not bad. Okay. Start doing more step aerobics. Stop doing it a little bit longer. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. I really want to get back to where I was before.
Yeah. Now, do you have any questions around this?
Yeah, I would like to know if you do see someone coming into my life.
Well, I don't see someone coming in this year, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to, that you're not going to date and have fun and all that stuff. Right? And I'll say it, even though you don't want to hear it, you can have sex. You can have lots of sex in this year. Yeah, you can totally have sex. You can have as much sex as you want and have a really good time with it. All right?
And that's what I do. That's what I do want. I do want to have sex and have a good time with it.
Yes. So, and that's part of your practice to getting that partner. Okay.
So
it's okay.
And good sex.
Well, that's up to you.
I want good sex.
Right. I hope you never intend bad sex.
I've had a little bit of it and don't want it anymore. But I don't mean
bad sex and naughty sex. I don't consider that bad sex. Naughty sex is good sex. Bad sex is when you're like. Bad sex is when you're like, ooh, I could have done something differently.
Right.
I could have chosen differently.
Yes.
So,
because I want to be more free in that area. I want to be more open and more free instead of being almost like shy and I know that's not me.
Well, the thing is that you've gotten into the practice of it because for the past 8 years you've been introspective, right? So you actually had, just so you know, you had the yellow light on when it came to partnerships for the past, and then the past, when it came to partnerships, past 2 years you had the red light on. So it's about getting back into practice what you haven't been, So shoot,
that's true.
If you haven't done, again, I'll go back to the sit-ups. If you haven't done a sit-up in 8 years, I'm not going to envy you because that first one's going to be a killer. But they get easier as they go along, right?
That's true, yes. The
other thing that I would recommend is to, I really do recommend roller skating. I don't know why it keeps coming up. Roller skating would be really good for you because it's off the beaten path and it's ageless and timeless.
Yeah.
And rollerblades are out, and I guess they're called quad wheels. What we grew up on are back in.
Yes.
So the 70s are back, and you're right in sync with it.
All right. This is good. This is very good. What a beautiful reading. Wow.
Oh, I thank you so much.
Very good. Very nice. Beautiful. Honest and straight to the point. Very
Thank
good.
you very much. All right.
Thank
So
you.
I welcome you to go back to the podcast, find it, and then revisit so that you have your to-do list right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh,
Many blessings
it was
to you
lovely
both.
speaking with you.
You as
pleasure.
well. You as well.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
All right.
Alrighty.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one. Have a good weekend. Bye.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't know about you out there, but I hope Annette gets started on that right away because she could have a lot of fun. Well, talking to Annette has brought me to something really we never talk about, and that's about sex. And I'll give you a quick from a reader's perspective about sex. All right, so there's really no judgment around it. When people ask questions about sex, when am I going to have it? How often? When is it going to be better? Blah 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 blah. You know where I'm going with this. From a reader's perspective, the importance is for the spirit to have joy and to rejoice. And so, in these cases, we talk about your energy. We don't talk about what is socially acceptable, perceived as acceptable, or what is perceived as unacceptable. What is really important is that the spirit experiences joy, because that is what the reader is. That's their goal for you, is that you find relief and joy, pathway to joy, when you come on in for a reading, right? So, so what I'd like to let you know is, as long as the and you can call sex whatever you want. Some people consider hickey as part of sex. Some people don't. Some people think that, French kissing is sex. Some people don't. So it doesn't really matter what you consider sex is. It's your definition. But so long as you're safe in what you're doing and that you're not harming yourself emotionally or harming the other person emotionally, intentionally, then you are on the pathway to experiencing joy. And that is what the spirit is here for, is to experience joy, all right, in the three dimensions. There aren't very many other places that I can think of outside this planet that gets to experience time. And that means we get to experience a moment for as little as we'd like. I mean, how cool is that? Anyway, also, sex is symbolically, it's a coming together. Physically, what I love to talk about with my partner is, and this when we were just friends and we talked about sex, and she says, the thing about sex is that all of a sudden you relax about certain things and you remember all the good qualities about the person that you love. And I agree to that. I also believe that what it does is that you had some kind of coming together, had to do with parts of you that you hadn't been in touch with for a while, that you're ready to reconnect with. So to me, that's what sex dreams are, and that's what what's that called? Daydreams are, and whatever you want to call them. And it's also your actual passions and desires. Sometimes people come and they have these, they feel our hopeless crushes, and really what it is that there is a piece of their life that they have disconnected with, and they are truly, truly wanting that piece back, but they don't know how to get it in their current relationship. And it's not because of guilt or shame, but mainly just because they don't know exactly how to communicate what it is that they're looking for. All right. So let's see, what else can we talk about when we're talking about our relationships? Let me bring it back really quickly to to my kids and family. My kids love to look at each other's boyfriends and say, I see dad in there. I see dad in there. And I think that's every girl's dream or every girl's huge fear, which is that they're going to marry their dad. And for guys, of course, it's about marrying their mom. The interesting thing, again, is when we are born, this is my philosophy, that when we are born whole, and then we have experiences that have us feel like we're not whole, and that our parents are what help us be whole, meaning safe, complete, unique, loved. And the weirdest part is every time they say something that that is not that, meaning it's, I'm disappointed in you or something. Those are the great hurts that make us no longer feel whole. And as we go and look for our relationships, and you know it, we are looking for someone to complete us. And those are the things that our parents said. And of course, those are the parents' deficiencies, which means that in a strange way, you are going back and having a relationship with your parent. So what I love to tell people when they're having problems or challenges with parents is I say, you know what, why don't you have this person that's your friend or this person that's your partner, you can work it out that way. And if that's still too uncomfortable for you, then take it out and make it a little bit more removed. We'll go ahead and focus on this with a coworker, because again, now we're going from what I was talking about, which is your life lesson or your cosmic irony, and you're going to that character shift that you're wanting to do. And from that character shift, guess what's going to happen? It's going to point you right back to the cosmic irony. So if you don't want to work on your karma through your mom or through your kids or through your sibling, that's okay. You can really start working on it by just the people in your environment. It is something that works best when you are not alone. I don't know many people who are, completely alone, but alone as in that you don't have any human contact. So whomever you have contact with, you can work it out. It tends to be a little bit longer of a journey if you are emotionally removed to this challenge. But that doesn't mean that you're not working on it. It just means it takes a little bit longer for us to gain the insight. And the only reason it is because the emotional charge isn't there that brings the truth directly back to our hearts and to our true experience. So I hope that you are finding all this very informative. I know that as soon as someone says the word sex, I start listening. So I hope that you out there are having a good time listening about relationships and sex and how that all goes back into your cosmic irony. Please know that you can reach me in any way, shape, or form in order for us to connect. You can call right now if you like at 657-383-0608, and you just press 1, and we can talk on the phone, or you can pop into the chat room and ask a question, and I'm happy to take your information and give you a reading that way. I'm also talking about relationships through my weekly classes, and this month is about decluttering. It's going to be about decluttering class space, decluttering thoughts, decluttering your diet. It's going to be all about streamlining. And I thought it would be thought was not the word. It just feels right because spring is coming in and you got that whole spring cleaning going on in order to prepare yourself for the summer months and that really being out there in the authentic you that you like to be. I'm also available for readings, and the readings are one-on-one and can be done on the phone. They can be done on video chat. I just learned how to do FaceTime, which was very exciting and made me feel very old at the same time. Or you can catch me at Angel Heart for You. I love that place. It's a beautiful store right off the water in Benicia, California. If you ever go to Benicia, I do recommend that you take a nice stroll down First Street. It's beautiful. It's funny. It's because it has great and colorful history. And, of course, there's Angel Heart for You, which is actually one of the stops on a ghost tour because there are ghosts in that building. I also wanted to let you know that there are so many different ways to connect and have a relationship. We already talked about having a relationship with loved ones, family and friends. There is relationship with our partners and how we can make that as harmonious as possible while you maintain all your power. I would love to talk about relationships in the workplace or in the hobby place, which would mean, yes, your bowling league, your softball team, and in my case, my martial arts studio. And there's a relationship that we have with the other side, other energies, other entities, those who have passed over, and those in different dimensions. And the reason I'm talking about this is I'd like to segue that I have a relationship with a different dimension, and it's called the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension has no time or space. It is the space of change. The interesting thing about the space of change is it also has no personality. So it's a little bit dry and very computer-like in how the information is given as well as received. But it is information and it's direct information. And it's also because it is the energy of change, it doesn't address the past. It does address the present. When you ask about the future, your information will come out a little bit future-based, but mainly about the present, which is a pretty amazing thing. The reason I like it so much is I am a transmitter of the fifth dimension. I connect in with the fifth dimension. I do not leave as clear channels do or fall asleep energetically. I get to ask questions as well as I'm hearing the information and have my own input. What was I going to say about that? But I also don't have to edit because the energy that comes through and the information comes through is not me, it's the fifth dimension. So if you'd like to experience that, I do fifth dimension sessions. They're group sessions, very different in that you sit in a group, you can ask a question, and the answer is given to you in a complete package in less than 2 minutes. I have found that through these sessions, I can clear out 30 questions in a little bit more than an hour. So a lot of fun. They are happening every fourth Monday at a place in Berkeley called Angel Light Books, and I really invite you to check it out. I'm also scheduled to go to New York to do the fifth dimension as well. So if you can't catch me on one coast, I hope that we can catch each other on another coast. I would also like to say that when we have relationships, my relationships with my peers are my fellow readers. And the interesting thing with having fellow readers as your friends is that you can be extremely vulnerable with them, and at the same time, it's a fine line because sometimes you go into reading mode and not mean to, when really all they're looking for is someone to listen to or to listen to them. So these relationships are interesting as well. The reason I'm saying that is because we have some pretty amazing readers on the Angel Heart for You radio channel. We have Linda Grindell, who's on Tuesday afternoons, and she does readings from the damaged soul. She's an amazing medium and incredibly funny. There is the Sweet Cher, who does Shamanic Journeys, and she's there on Wednesdays. And we have Miranda, who is here right before me on Fridays, and she does Angel Reiki, and she's a lot of fun to listen to. Always lots of information, always tons and tons of love when I'm with them, and always have at least a chuckle or two. So if you have a moment, please feel free to listen to them over the radio. The last thing is that you can find a reader just about anywhere. But again, we're talking about relationships. So it's really important that when you talk to someone, just like Annette did with me, which is so sweet and it felt so genuine, is that at the end of our conversation, she felt that there was a connection. I felt that there was a connection. And that's really what relationships are all about, is being able to communicate in a way that the other person can be heard, but more importantly for you, in a way that you can share. So we're almost to the end of this show, I'm really sad for that to happen because I love to talk, and I could talk and talk and talk and talk for days. I would like to thank everyone who is out there listening. It's always a pleasure to serve in this medium. It's so humbling and so liberating at the same time. Thank you to Tana, who worked her butt off today, and always have to say thank you to her because she's so amazing. I am going to have a great weekend with many friends talking about relationships, and I hope that you have a great weekend as well, and that it's exactly or better than that you had hoped. Please follow me on Facebook. I am Cynthia Barkevisser, your modern-day mystic. You can find me that way, or just type in Cynthia Barkevisser. You can call me if you're interested on one-on-ones, or you can meet me online.
Thank you for listening
have a great
to
weekend.
another empowering show. Tune in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday and Friday to hear our live shows. Learn more about our live shows at www.angelheartforyouRadio.com and keep tuning in to the Angel Heart for You radio channel.